Good morning, everybody. Today is February the 16th, 2022. I hope everybody can hear me okay, and everybody can is on the line here. And this is a new agent training. Just got through with Valentine's. I hope everybody had chocolates and roses and all the fun stuff of Valentine's. And so here we are, so we are in the midst of 2022, and hopefully we're through this mask mandate, and maybe people are wanting to see us again. And I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today. And again, my name is Keelan Johnson. On the screen here, you can kind of see who I am and a little bit about me. There's an ugly mugshot that I took a couple years back. I think I have about 3 more gray hairs and 4 more wrinkles since then, but maybe not too much. And I know I wear glasses a little bit now. I didn't want to do that, but when you turn 47, I think it's something you kind of have to do if you start getting and pulling away from your computer or getting closer, one way or the other. So I am down here in Georgetown, Texas, and right in the middle of Texas. And I would offer and challenge you to, if you haven't been to my facility here, that we're going to have another training in early March. You'll see some information about it, but come on down. Would love to visit with you. Love to see you, and love to help you out any way we can. I've been in the insurance business now for 22 years. So go ahead in your chat button if you can hear me. I want to make sure I'm not talking to myself. I think I'm not. Type yes if you can hear me okay in the chat box. All right, perfect. Thanks, Paul. So anybody else? But I've been in the insurance business for 22 years now. All the way I cut my teeth in the long-term disability market. So I was going door to door, house to house, actually work site to work site. Working with people with long-term disability. These were independent contractors. And so independent contractors, they don't, unless they have work comp, and a lot of them don't. But if something happens to them on the job, or something happens to their employees on the job, they go without wages and they don't have money. So that's long-term disability. And so I was selling that, or trying to sell that to them, which is a tough market. And then life insurance. And then I, after about 6 months of that, I was offered a farmers insurance agency out in West Texas. So I took it, and lo and behold, I took it over with about 300 or 400 policies. And I didn't know that at the time, but that's not much renewals. It's not a very big book of business. So I had to make amends. And so I sold a lot of life insurance, and worked with a lot of people to grow it. And then I sold it because of we were kind of landlocked and with the area. So sold it, and then I took over because there was a bank came to me and wanted me to take over their agency, and they had an independent property and casualty agency. So I took over theirs. We had about 6,000 policies, and then they sold it due to the Glass-Steagall Act, which is without going into details, that's an act that came through Congress to disallow banks from owning investment institutions. And the insurance business happened to fall into investment side. So needless to say, then I became the assistant district manager for farmers insurance and business consultant for farmers. And at that point in time, now 7 years ago, my now ex-wife had different plans for her life. So it left me in a situation to Roxanne, do you have a question? You can go ahead and chat or unmute yourself. Roxanne, I'm sorry. Do you have a question? You're welcome to unmute yourself. And we have a small enough group today, by the way. We have a small enough group that if you have a question or a comment, I may call on y'all, I may not. But if you have a question or comment, please raise your hand, please chat, or please just unmute yourself, because we're small enough today. I think we've got 11 on the line, nine on the line. So we're small enough today to do that. So that's a wonderful thing. But then that left me in a situation. You know what I did? I drove around one day. I took about a 2-day little trip out to East Texas, and I drove around. And I said, you know what? I was sitting in a restaurant, And I looked around and I said, what is it that every single person in this place needs? What is it that every single person that I'm sitting here looking at needs or wants or has to have? And you know what it came down to? One thing. It came down to this, is that everybody is going to pass away. And everybody in this room will pass away one day. And I said, you know what? That's it. That's it. And all life insurances, I wish I had my other computer, but it went out, so to speak, after 6 years. So I've got my other one here. This is a little Chromebook, so I can't annotate, which I love to do and type a little bit. I can't annotate on this one. But I said, what is it that everybody's going to have in this room? And you know what it clearly came down to? It clearly came down to final expense. And it clearly came down to final expense. And I said, you know what? That's it. I said, everybody's going to pass away one day. And not everybody needs a big variable universal or indexed universal, but everybody needs to protect their family. And I don't know how old you are on this line. I'll be the guinea pig. I'm 47 and I have two beautiful kiddos and a mother and father that are still around, and they're in their mid to late 70s. So there's a lot of responsibilities there. So I'm in charge of not only myself, but two kiddos and in charge of two parents. So not really in charge. They're in charge. At least you ask my mother, though. She's in charge. But when they pass away, I will be the one to take care of that, me and my brother. But, that's a lot of responsibility as far as when things happen and when life happens. So that's why I said, you know what? We want to protect people. We want to be out there in the public, whether you're buying leads, whether you're working leads, whether you're an independent contractor out there on your own, whether you're selling or serving people with final expense because you have a PNC agency or whatever it may be out there in your career. There's one thing, and I say this every time, and I want it to sink in because I think some of y'all have heard me say it probably a couple times if you've ever heard me talk. I'm looking at the list of people here who may have heard me say this or may have not. But did you know that the average age, I'll tell you what, let me do this. I need a volunteer. So anybody that was willing to be brave and unmute themselves, I would love to have a volunteer because I like interaction. I like interaction with people. So please, if someone or two people, whatever, want to unmute themselves, I would like to have a conversation here for just a second. So I don't want to pick or choose anybody, but if you can unmute yourself, that would be super. So I'm going to give it 5 seconds for someone to be brave enough to unmute themselves and talk in front of the group. 5, 4, 3, 2.
I'll do it, Keelan.
Hey, there we go. Who am I speaking with?
This is Doug, buddy.
Doug, how you doing, boss?
Hey, man, just trying to learn a few things from you, brother.
I don't know. That's why I unmuted it. You're in charge of the conversation, and you're going to do the training this morning, okay?
Oh, that is fantastic. No problem. I have a guest speaker named Keelan Johnson. Hey.
Oh, here I am. Welcome. Doug, introduce yourself. Where are you from? What's going on there? Tell everybody.
Doug Ham from Oklahoma City. Live a little bit of kind of around, do a lot of mission work, things like that. But I've been in the investment business and insurance business. I guess it's been 30 years now. And I'm in more of a corporate role, but wanted to get back to the field. And I was kind of like Keelan. I said, you know what? Everybody's gonna die. Everybody needs to pay for it. So this is the best, right. One of the best things. So yeah, I'm a little older than Keelan. I'm 52. So just kind of changing the pack.
Come on. We're out here together, Gen X. Doug, y'all, I mean, it's crazy when you hear people like Doug, and I'm sure the rest of y'all on the line, I see your names and I know about you. And how much you just knowledge, Doug, is, in the room when you get 10 people together like this. And really, really what it just humbles me to know and to think is that, you talk about the investment business, and I had my Series 6, 63, and 7, and did some complicated cases just like you, and then probably invested a hundred or 200 or more $1,000 for people, and they trusted you, and in that clientele and in that realm. But there's just a little bit something different about going and serving the middle to low income family ranges and writing a $12,000 policy. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
I mean, it's just humbling. I mean, and so
Yes.
if you're new on the line and you've done one or the other or none of the other, writing a $200,000 annuity is not near as fulfilling to me as I mean, and don't get me wrong, but tripping over the dog and dusting off the dirt and getting in the middle of a living room that's you just can't believe you're in, and writing that policy and then having them hug your neck on the way out, thinking that you protect them. It's just a different feeling. And I don't know whether it's inherent or if it's learned or what it is, Doug, but you got to have that passion, right? I mean, you got to have a little bit of passion. You just got to have it. So I really wanted to kind of bring you on here. Doug, what do you probably know this. I probably picked the wrong person because you've been in the business for a while and you probably know the answer to the question. So what is in America, I looked it up the other day, and maybe there's a couple different answers to it, but in the average, what is the average death age of an individual in America?
The average death age, I mean, when they die?
Yes.
Well, I don't know if it's the same. Life expectancy is like 74 or something, or 75 for males, maybe a little older for females.
It is. I looked it up there today. It's a 77, right?
Okay. Yep.
So I'm going to ask you this. So if you were to look in your contact list in your phone, or not even that, just of course, a contact list are typically people because back in the day, if you're 52, you were right on the edge, so was I. I don't know how long you've been in the insurance business, but it sounds like a while, or in the sales business. But if you had to let's say 30 years ago, because that'd put you at what 22, and I don't know if you're in the insurance business there, but I was coming out of college at 25. But let's just go 25 years ago, before computers. I mean, they were coming out, but right at the time, I guess, when did a computer come out and databases and cell phones come out? Back in
right about then,
in the early 90s, mid 90s, late 90s, maybe.
Yeah, not every household had one, but the company I started out with, you get this, they called it a laptop. It was like a suitcase thing you took, and they could only do some calculations. So not very few people had them. Yeah.
So back in the day, let's rewind maybe back to our parents, or not quite back there, but if you owned a business back 40 years ago, 45 years ago, before cell phones, before computers, before any of that stuff, what did your list of people, or your list of clients, or your list of your contacts, what did that look like? What was it on? How did you get a hold of people if you want to find them? What did a contact list look like?
It was a Rolodex usually. If you were in business, you had that old roller thing, or you had a little pad with names, and God forbid you lose it or something happens to it, because then it's all gone, and there's no backup on those.
No.
But typically it was not as an extensive of a list as we have today.
Remember calling up people and calling the operator?
Yep.
My grandmother was a telephone operator I grew up in a little town called Hamilton, Texas, 2,800 people. And if you wanted to know some gossip, you talked to my grandmother, because she was a telephone operator, and she would be on chat lines and things like that. She knew all the gossip before the whole town did. So
those old party lines, you could listen. You're not supposed to, but you could listen in on anything.
Good. That's right. So let's talk about this. So if you were to say between your contacts in your phone, and I want everybody to really think about this for a second, and y'all didn't ask me, y'all kind of wanted some nuts and bolts of Security National, and I'll get there. Bear with me a second. I'd get a little passionate about this and get a build up there. But if you had to guess between the contacts list in your phone, which now, can you believe it? I mean, how quick those contact lists, fill up. If you go to your iPhone or your Android and you scroll down to the bottom or top, it'll give you a number, and you'll be super surprised at how many contacts you have in a mobile device now. You know, whether it be friends, family, coworkers, clients, past clients, people you met, you know, out in public, you know, loved ones. It grows, and most of us, I would guarantee you, have. I'll tell you what. Let's do this because I want to do this. I just love to do this. So everybody in your chat box, if you can hear me in chat, and if you can type, I want you to go to the bottom of your phone. And we've got 9 people in here. I want you to go to the bottom of your phone and go to your contact list in your phone. Go to your contact list in your phone, okay, and scroll to the very bottom. Some of us, it may take a while. Scroll to the very bottom, and there's Paul. Paul got 452. And y'all don't judge me. I don't know a lot. I do know quite a few people, but I'm in the business I'm in, helping and training people. So I'm gonna put mine out there. 1898. That was a good year, 1898. But put the number of people you know that you have contacts with in the chat box, if you can type in the chat box. If not, you can open your microphone and yell it out, or kind of tell it out. One or the other. Ooh, 613, 382, 1,099. $384. Oh, everybody's look at that. Whoa, Doug. Rocking and rolling.
Just a few there, not as many as you, but
And
of course that doesn't take in all your LinkedIn and everyone else. I mean, it's
isn't that true?
yeah.
I've got, look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got a lot. I think everybody's participated here. I'm going to do my quick math here. And easy math is 24, 34, 4, 46, 54. I've got about 6,800 people-ish. All right. So you're 52, Doug, right?
Yes.
Would we venture to say something? I'm going to venture to say this. Would we venture to say that most of our contacts in our phone, most of us at contacts in our phone out of this number of 6,800 are still alive? I don't think most of us don't have dead people in our phone, do we? Most of us don't have dead people in our phone. 6,800 people in contacts, and that's just the ones we've got phone numbers and we got contacts with. So if you're 52, I'm 47, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just round it to 50, just for even math for everybody on the phone here. So if we're 50 and the average death rate in America is 77, okay? So that's 27 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So y'all bear with me. So that's 27 years till the average. Would it be fair assessment if there's 6,800 between all of us on this phone, that 3,400 people that we have in our phones combined as a group are going to die in the next 27 years? Does that sink in? So if average age of death is 77, then 50% of people are going to die before 77.
Keelan, we can't hear you. If you can hear us, hear me.
Are you there now?
Yeah, there you are.
I got you now. So would it be a fair assessment to say that if in next 27 years, half of those people are going to die? If that's an average.
Yeah.
It's an average. It's 5 out of 10. An average
Statistics.
means that's the statistics in the middle of the road. So we are as a group, as a statistic overall, because the larger amount of number, the more it becomes true. We're gonna have 3,400 funerals in the next 27 years between all of us. Is that correct?
Yep.
So that's what drives me, and that's my why, is that in the next 20 years, 25 years, and we don't know whether it's going to be tomorrow. We don't know which one of the 6,800 is going to be tomorrow. But I will also challenge you with something else. If 77 is the average, and we know people live to 90 sometimes, when you take 77 and you got 90, that's also 13 years there. So you take 13 years off 77, that's 50 something, Doug. You know, we're going to start having people, you know, in the 40s and 50s and 60s start passing away. We are.
Yeah.
It's just the point. It's just a matter of who it is. So you know what? And then I promise I'll get off the tangent here too. Out of those 3,400 people, Doug, are you going to be sitting in the funeral home or the church? You're going to be sitting on the front pew and proud that you protected Meemaw, or you protected Pawpaw, or you protected Bill or Susie or Tim, and that you had their family in your best interest and you protected them? Or are you going to be on that front pew and they're going to look over at you with tears in their eyes, knowing that you helped them take care of this? Or are you going to be on the back pew going, gosh, I better get out of here quick because I don't want them to ask me? And weren't you the insurance guy? Did you have a policy on, Doug? Did you take care of them? And what are you going to say? What are you going to tell them if you don't do it? What are you going to tell them? Well, we didn't ever get around to it, or, oh, I didn't ask them, or well, we were about to write one, or I needed to get with them. You know, what, how does that happen? So when you talk about reality, you know, think about when COVID started a couple years ago. Now we've gone 2 years in. I mean, time flies by, doesn't it, Doug, when you're having fun?
Yeah.
Time flies by. I mean, yesterday we were running around in our brand new trucks at 16, and now here we are 30 years later.
Yep.
What are we going to do now in the next 30? Who are we going to protect, Doug? That's how important it is to me. That's how important it is to me. Are we going to be on the front pew, or are we going to be on the back pew? And time's going to slip away from us. And y'all are so blessed, every single person on this line, to have a life insurance license and to be able to protect people and to be able to protect families. So a little bit of that, why. I like to build passion, because without passion, we have no business. We have no business being here. You know, I don't want to sell anything in 2022. I want to serve people. And there's a difference in selling and serving, right, Doug? And what's the difference in selling and serving?
Well, selling, you're just pushing a product. You're a peddler. Serving is, you know, caring, going the extra mile, doing whatever it takes, you know.
Absolutely. You know, serving is more, you know, helping people understand and figure out, why are we doing this? What's it for? Who are we going to help? How are we going to release that burden? And how are we going to protect our family? So I want you to just think about it as we move forward in 2022, because yes, we do have to put our salesman hat on. Yes, we do have to talk about some product and rate. And that's what we're about to do, is getting the nuts and the bolts of it. But after overall, when you lay your head on a pillow, how many people are you going to serve? And are you going to be on the front pew or the back pew? All right. So enough of my preaching today. That is from Pastor Ken Johnson. But I get a little passionate about it. So let's talk about this here. And everybody bring up a question if you have. What I want to do today is I want to show you, you know, in the next hour or so, about Security National Life, you know, and about what we do and how we're doing it. You know, just a little bit about us. We've been around since 1965. Started out in Salt Lake City, Utah. We have 4 branches. There's a mortgage division, a life insurance division. We have a fast funding division, which actually funds funerals when people when people are looking for money from their other carrier. Because believe me, we are one of the fastest companies in the industry to pay a claim. So if you've got notes, I would suggest get a piece of paper and a pen. I'm going to give you a few things to write down today so that you can remember it. I don't expect you to take all notes, because this is recorded today, and I can get you a link to it. But a couple of things I want you to write down. The first one is that sell versus serve. I want you to circle the word sell, and I want you to X it out, cross it out. We're going to serve people. We're not going to sell people. That's the number one thing. Number 2 is that I want you to also write down 2 words, and that's a word if, and then there's also a word when, W-H-E-N, when. Okay. I want you to mark out the word if, X it out, scribble it out. And I want you to focus on the word when today. You know, and again, I know that Doug and a lot of you online too have been in this industry and maybe sold other products and maybe been around other products. And it's been kind of those Well, Mr. Jones, you've got a variable universal life policy, if you make it to 50, it'll be worth 50,000. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, you have a term policy, and it'll be locked in for 10 years. And if you die within that 10-year period, you go have $300,000. Not to say that after that 10-year period, it skyrockets and goes way up. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, here's your auto insurance today. If you have an accident, there's a $500 deductible, and we will fix your car if you have an accident, and hopefully you don't. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, here's your homeowner's insurance. If you have a hailstorm, if you have a fire, if you have whatever, we will replace your house. We will take care of that. And that's what we do. That's what the insurance business is all about. But with final expense, I want you to circle the word WHEN, W-H-E-N. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, is pretty much inevitable. It's not an if, but it is a when. When you pass away, W-H-E-N, your family will receive $15,000, and then they will be able to take care of the final expenses. They will be able to take care of your funeral. They will be able to take care of the rest of the things, and they won't be left with the burden of having to open up their checking account, open up their credit card, go to the bank, get a loan, make a chicken dinner, or actually have a benefit dinner to raise money for you, because the money will be there. And that's called, taking care and protecting families. So those are some key words there that I want you to remember. The third thing is that we know as a company, we own crematories and mortuaries and cemeteries. We're in the business of that. We also have a pre-need division, and they package up funerals. So they sell caskets for funeral homes and flowers, and so to speak. They package up the funeral, and then you have a plan that you pay for over a period of 3, 5, 8, or 10 years. On our side, we have final expense. We believe that the money goes to the beneficiary, and no matter where you are and how you are, and if you're out of town or you need your body taken to Mexico, whatever, it doesn't matter. That is up to you. That is actually up to the beneficiary, that surely they will know, and we help them know what to do with it. Okay, so we pay our claims. Here's the third thing to write down: within 36 to 48 hours after receiving the death certificate, because we have to know the cause of death. But after that, we are one of the fastest in the industry to that avail. So again, I don't know if you worked for an IMO before, maybe sold products for another company, but you are actually writing a policy for a very, very good company here. When you write this policy, it is very solid. So if you haven't done this book yet, look at up here at the top. This is my URL. This is my website. This is my training website. I challenge you to write this website down: finalexpenselife.us. And the reason is, this is where all my tools are. This is this would be like working on your car today. Like if we were in the automotive shop, we were working on a car today. This is your toolbox. These are the drawers you're going to pull out to get your wrench, to get your screwdriver, to get your sockets. This is where you go. And I'm constantly sharpening this tool for you. I want to sharpen it for you, and then I've got some updates to do on this next week, including what we're talking about, our lead hub. I don't know if any of y'all saw the webinar. There'll probably be a recording of it, but on our agent portal here, we have now an amazing, what we call lead hub. And some of y'all are really going to benefit from this. This is a lead hub. This is a dashboard right here to show you your leads, to show you how many you have, how many you've worked, your average. This is amazing. I mean, this is what you're going to be able to go to from your phone, from anywhere, from your computer, and work leads, because we have to have people to see, right? You have to have people to see, and that's important. So Security National Life is making this very easy for you, between uploading policies, we'll get to that, between a rate calculator, between telesales, between your lead portal. It's all virtual now, and we want to make it as easy as possible for you, okay, between them. So let's dig in a little bit. Let's start in here, but I challenge you also to save this if you can. If you need help, Save this finalexpenselife.us to your phone. Open it up on your phone if you can and save it. If you don't know how to save it to your phone, you can actually watch this little video right down here. You can see it, adding an app icon onto your iPhone. Let's watch this for 2 seconds. It's very easy. There might be a little after first YouTube.
You can add an icon to your iPhone for easy access to the agent portal. Open the agent portal website in your web browser. Your screen is one that looks like a box with an arrow pointing out of it. Then find the Add to Home Screen button. You can rename the icon. We're going to keep this the portal.
So if you have an
It's
iPhone,
one that looks like a box with an arrow pointing out of it.
so there's a box with an arrow pointed out of it, and you go right here.
Then find the Add to Home Screen button. You can rename the icon if you like. We're going to keep this as an agent portal. And now you've got a shortcut added to your home screen. You can now access this from the home screen of your phone, and with just a tap, you've opened the agent portal.
So that's how you do it, and you can do it also from the screen. You can do a little demo of adding it onto your Android also. Okay, adding it onto your Android also. So either or, whichever one you would like to see, whichever one you would like to do. Okay, so you can add it onto there. All right. So one easy way to do that. Let me get over here and see if I've got any. Okay, perfect. All right. So we know how to do that. Also, right here, if you see today's training will be saved onto this YouTube channel trainings. So if you look over here, I've been trying to save all of my trainings onto my YouTube channel so that you have access to go through here. And when you're bored to death or whatever, you can go and look at videos. These are my videos for training. There's good ones in here. So I don't know who that ugly guy in the middle is, but that's not me, I don't think. But anyway, there's purchasing leads, beating the lead, which means working a lead. Down here at the bottom, we've got Creatio. We're no longer using Creatio, so I'll take that off. But over here, how to complete a telesales application, how to present the product. I'm not going to go through the product completely today, but I challenge you, if you're brand new, go watch this one down here, if any of them, how to present the product, because this goes through my whole presentation. And I would be willing to go through with each one of you individually on how to present the product, how to properly talk to people about the product, how to properly talk to people about, hey, listen, you know, you're going to pass away and I'm here to protect you and your family. And then at the bottom left, how to complete a paper application. We're going to hit the top of the iceberg on those today, but I'm not going to do a deep dive today because I just want to really kind of show you around. This is really kind of a tour, if you will, of what we do and how we do it so that we can dig down deeper later on. I want to just put a taste of SNL on your tongue this morning and about how we do. Changing the default language. This is pretty cool. So if you're on the agent portal over here and you like Spanish, you can clearly go to this little man up here in the top and you can change everything to Spanish. I am not bilingual, so I don't know what it says, but for those of y'all that are bilingual, so just understand, we have our agent portal in Spanish, number one. We have our presentations. We have our presentation right here in Spanish. We have our funeral planning fact sheet, which I'll show you about in Spanish. We have an application in Spanish. We have Spanish applications. So if you're Spanish speaking only, you're welcome to go over here. Let me change it back to English so I can read it. You can go over here to our order supplies list. And when you get into the supplies list over here, you can go into the Spanish right here by language, and you can go into Spanish, okay? And we have the simple security plan here. in terminal Spanish. Okay. So if you like Spanish and your client is Spanish and it's easier for you to explain it to them in Spanish, we have it there. The other thing is we are one of the few companies out there that will write someone that only has an ITIN or a TIN number. So if you have clients that are Spanish, or I'm not necessarily Spanish, I didn't mean that, but just anybody that wants to has an ITIN number, a TIN number, tax identification number, and doesn't have a social, we can still write them. So that's a good news, as far as opening your door to other markets. 2.5 years ago, this was our only option, y'all. We had to write a policy in person. And the reason is because we are a prescription-based company. What that means is, y'all probably all know, is that when we underwrite our policies or we talk to people, we're talking to them about medications. What are you taking? It's kind of like Jerry Maguire. It's like, show me the money. For us, it's show me your medicines. Get your bag of pills out. Go get your big Ziploc out. I need to see them, because that's what we get paid for. If you learn nothing else today, I want you to know that the demise and the downfall of agents is that they want to shortcut this step. They don't want to get the medications. They say is like, well, the company can do it. Why should I have to? Well, the company does pull a report. We do pull a report. We use a company called Milliman, kind of like Millionaire, but it's a Milliman. And they are a third-party vendor that we use to pull your prescriptions. So if you've ever had a prescription filled from H-E-B or Walmart or wherever, that is on the prescription list. There's a database of it. And that's what we use to tell how to underwrite people. Okay, that's how we use that to underwrite people. Hey, y'all, I was with Farmers Insurance before. We had to do blood. I had to have people go in the bathroom and have urine, and medical background checks. We had to check with the doctor, and the doctor wouldn't get back the information for 3 or 4 weeks. It was a nightmare. I mean, I'm sure if any of y'all been in the insurance business for a long time or written with other companies or another product, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is a nightmare. So for us to be able to write an app at 8 o'clock in the morning, turn it in at 11 o'clock, and get it issued by 2 o'clock, that's pretty crazy. It really is. And to get paid what we get paid to write the policy, you should be really thankful, because if you've ever been on the opposite side of it, you're dang near starved to death before you got something issued. So we do that. So you gather your supplies, you have your application. So if any of y'all are having, you want some applications, again, some paper applications, go over here to your agent portal, order your supplies, and there's your applications. So whatever state you're in, you choose your state. If you want English and Spanish right there, go in here and play around, order some stuff. It doesn't cost you anything. You need supplies. Every one of you needs supplies. If you need my help after this, call me up. We'll work. On there, and you can get them out. Okay, so I've got 10 of them in there, and I check out, and then I'm off to the races. Okay, or I can continue to shop. We'll get back over here in just a little bit with showing you what to kind of order and what not to. But you've got your presentation, you sit with the people, you complete your presentation, and then at this point in time, you send it to the company. Well, how do I send it to the company, Keelan? How do I send my application to the company? Well, if you look right here on your agent portal, there's this little button called Uploads in the top. Phone, remember, you can save these things to your phone. Remember how we do that up here? Save it to your phone. you save the agent portal to your phone, you can simply go into this upload button and take a picture with your phone. To the company and go to the next meeting. You don't have to worry about that night coming home and scanning it, trying to find that scanned document that's 13 layers deep in this thing, and you can't find it and it's named XYZ 4284543. So no, you can take a picture of it and send it straight to the company. With the paper application right here, so just write this down too. I've got another writing point. With a paper application, there's no telephone interview. No telephone interview. So if you're over at Bill's house or Tina's house or whatever, write the policy, take a picture of it with your phone, go to the next client, go eat lunch. You don't have to do a telephone interview with a paper application. We don't require it, okay? So this is basically how we've done business for years and years and years, is paper application. Now, guess what? The COVID, let me back up a little bit. If you want a presentation right here and you want to print some off, again, I'm not going to go through the presentation today. That's going to be probably next week, or I might do that tomorrow on tomorrow's training. This is really a new agent training, kind of showing you around, taking you in a helicopter around Security National, if you will, from a high end. And we'll dig down into it when we have more time, because I can get long-winded on these things. But this is our presentation piece. It talks about what a funeral is, how are you going to pay for it, what you do and don't want to leave behind. Historical record, my favorite part right here of how to give people a sense of peace of mind, because nobody has that and they need to write this down. If you have any funeral and service instructions, the things you want to see, pallbearers, that's very important, because when somebody passes away, you always say, well, who would I want to be my pallbearer? Who would I want to be, here? And I don't want to leave anybody out, so to speak. And then we do the close right here. And hey, we have affordable rates. You can never be canceled. Benefits from day one, guaranteed cash value, and anybody through the age of 90 can apply. Anybody through the age of 90 can apply here, okay? So very important that we understand that. The second thing that we go through is a funeral planning fact sheet with the people. And again, I will dive into this later individually or with people probably tomorrow or the next day on my trainings. You can watch some trainings, call me if you have any questions. But this is 122 things. And this is the reason we do final expense. This is 122 things that you either are going to have to pay for, or think about. Look right here, ladies in cosmetology, hair, display of flowers, funeral coach, flower car, you go on down here, clothing for your family, food for your family, transportation, arrange to meet relatives out of town, okay, people to notify, cemetery, your headstone over here, and memorial marker, bills to pay, doctors, hospital, family adjustment, income down here, credit. Okay, so multitudes of things. So I challenge you as homework. I'm going to give you a couple of homework assignments too. So you've got your notes, you've got homework. So if you write down homework, I challenge you to print off one of these funeral planning fact sheets in English or Spanish and go through it a little bit, just line by line. It'll be good for you. It'll be good for you anyways, even if you don't ever, if you never write a policy. It was good for me when I went through this. I was like, man, I didn't think about all this stuff. There's a lot of things to think about. There's a lot of things to pay for. There's a lot of things to do. And when you're in that time frame and someone passes away that you love, you don't think about these things. So this is a guide. This is a guide for people. And I use this very vividly with my clients. And I say, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, this is a guide for you. Okay, so when, W-H-E-N, when you pass away, you'll have a guide here for whoever your beneficiary is. You'll have your historical record that has all your information there. because average age is 77, and you'll have it all in one place. That way, when you die and when you pass away, nobody will have to worry about it. They just have to go to your sock drawer, pull your stinky socks out or whatever, and grab that policy and go, man, dad or man, mom really thought of me. They really protected me. They thought so much of me. They had this all put together for me, and I didn't have to worry about it. I love you, mom. I love you, dad. Thank you for thinking of me. You know, that's what it's all about. And we get to be, everybody on this line, Vernita, Aurora, Doug, Paul, Roxana, Sohail, Daniel, we get to be those people that give it to them. Sorry, Chris, was it Sohail? So we get to give it to them, you know, and we get to be the pillars of that, you know. Are we going to be on the front pew or are we going to be on the back pew? Okay, so and then the COVID questionnaire. So on the COVID questionnaire, one thing I want to show you, one thing I want to make it easy for you, because this can kind of look a little confusing. But look at this one question on COVID questionnaire. No questionnaire is required on full benefit applications under the age of 65. So if somebody is under the age of 65, just throw this puppy in the trash. You don't need it. The only time you need it is if they're 65 years old. If you write this down, 65 and older, and if they are applying for preferred or standard, which is our day one coverage, and I'll get to that in a minute. Preferred or standard, which is day one coverage. Okay, so 65 years old and older, and or preferred and standard. Okay, so we have a modified policy, but we don't have to worry about that. Okay, and really it's just a 30-day questionnaire. You can read that. But looky here, after the COVID started, we had to provide another option, and now we can sell policies over the phone. So I can sell one to anybody right now that's on the phone here. So I can write a policy for anybody anywhere, as long as you are appointed, as long as you're licensed and appointed in the state where you are going to write the policy. So if any of y'all are licensed in other states, you're thinking about writing a policy in another state, let me know. Email me the state that you're licensed in, the state you might be writing a policy in, and I will get it over to the company, and we will get you opened up in that state to write policies. Okay, so take a look at that, how to sell a policy over the phone. So here's what I do. I get on the phone with Mr. and Mrs. Jones, and I start talking to him, and I say, hey, hey, Paul, good to hear from you. And I'm going to ask you a few questions. I open up my agent portal right here, and I go straight to the telesales button. So when I go on the telesales button, it looks like this. I'm going down and I'm putting just for purposes of, hold on one second. Let me do this. I just put that in there, put my information in here. I check my agree box. How old are you? How young are you? Okay, so right here, and I go right here to my state, wherever I'm signing it. Okay, and I'm gonna sign state is Texas. No, it's not working. I'll do TX. I'm not a fan of this little Chromebook, but we'll make it happen here. So you can put the state there, social security number, whatever it may be, gender, okay, whatever it may be. And $15,000 for the coverage. Okay, continue. And here you go. So notate this. The only policy that we can write over the phone is our simple security plan. So our simple security plan is the only one we can write, which for brand new people is ages 40 and above, ages 40 and up. So if you have somebody under 40, we do have an option for them. I'll show you, but it's paper application. And you just click on simple security plan and you go in here and you complete it. Homework assignment for everybody. Number one, here's homework. Number one, If you have only been appointed for less than 14 days, write a policy on somebody or yourself or something because you get a free $250 worth of lead credit, which I'll go over, and a SNL shirt. And ladies, yes, they make nice ladies shirts. So they're not some big old blousy man shirts, so they will fit you. But write a policy. But if you've already written a policy, if it's already been 14 days, you haven't done anything, I suggest you write a policy anyways, because I'm going to show you why in a minute. But go in here and play around. Enter some information in here. Get the feel of it, because you know practice makes perfect. Get the feel of it before you have a client. Get the feel of moving around in here. You can have these toggle buttons that actually they toggle back and forth, and they will duplicate what your information is if the insured is the owner, if the insured is the payor. So go through here and play around. I'm not going to go through this today. I don't have time, but how to write a policy, okay? How to write a policy over the telesales button, okay? So again, when you go in here to my YouTube training, you will see that also and how to do that. Okay, I got to look here real quick. Got to say, yep, Paul, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
Hey, Paul, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Good. Paul is new with us, and so Paul had to comment on chat. It's very easy. You want to expand on that any with the group?
Yeah, so I just wrote myself a small policy yesterday, opened up via the portal, and it probably took me 5 minutes to do. And the portal quickly updated to show my policy was pending, and then now it's active. So really, really quickly. And I've already been credited the $250 lead credit.
Nice. Paul, where's your accent from?
England.
All right, perfect. That's awesome. So Paul's brand new, and he went in there and wrote his own policy. And most of y'all on the line here, if not all of you, will actually make money your first year on writing your own policy. So your commission level will be above what you actually make. So you're earning money for a life insurance policy. And so on your own personal policy or your family policies, you will get paid as earned, which means monthly instead of advance. But how in the world would you ever go out in the public and talk to people about Security National Life and about this policy without not having one on your own? You know what I mean? So we're super excited. Paul is going to be a new career agent down in the Houston area, and we're going to get him set up on that. And I'll expand on the career program in a minute. Anything else you want to add, Paul?
No, not this time. It's just been great, though, the amount of information that I've been receiving for a relatively new guy in the insurance business. It's filled me with a lot of confidence to start going out.
Well, I'll tell you what, with Paul, the way he talks, I haven't met him person to person. Hopefully we will. He's going to have a great career here and protecting people, because that's what it's about. Thank you, Paul. Let's talk a little bit here about one thing. I want to jump down and I want to build it. I want to build it out a little bit more here. I'm going to go here, and I'm sorry for making you dizzy. These are tools that we have here at the company. Tools that I want to provide for you. But one thing as we go forward, before I forget, as we write a policy, let me just have somebody. Vernita, are you there?
Yes.
Perfect. Vernita is up in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area. And
Yes,
correct.
sir.
Awesome. Vernita is going to be up in the Tulsa area. She's going to rock and roll that area. And so I wanted to just talk for a second here because I needed someone to talk to on this. This is actually my policy. Vernita, you want to introduce yourself and where you're from and a little bit about yourself so we know who we're talking to?
Yeah. So I'm Vernita Russell. I'm, of course, in the Tulsa area of Oklahoma. I have 5 little munchkins that are currently away at school. I've been licensed since October let's see. Well, my mom, she did pass away, but she did not have life insurance. So this is like a little closer to me as far as passion and purpose. But yeah, I'm eager to learn, ready to rock and roll. Let's go.
Perfect. Awesome. You can tell the passion there. And I challenge everyone too, because we probably all do have our personal story that hits home. Use that personal story to help people out, to serve others. You know, we need to use those stories because it's only a matter of time, as we talked about before somebody else has to use that story. And we can either be a part of it or we can not. Right. So Vernita, do you see, this is my policy, and thank you for being on the line here, and condolences go out for you and your mother, your family. This is my policy. At this time, how old are you, Vernita, if I may ask?
I'm 35.
35, with 4 kids or 5?
5.
Busy.
Busy, very busy.
Busy. Yeah, that's wonderful. A lot
Never
of games,
dull moment.
a lot of ball games, and a lot of bleachers, and a lot of fun going on there. We're gonna go in there. So
Lots of people to meet.
yeah, a lot of people to meet. That's Protect, right? So, do you see my age up there?
Yes.
Okay, what's my death benefit?
20,000.
How much do I pay per year on this policy?
Let's see. Per year, $410.60.
Okay, so let's do a little math here. I'm not gonna make it too complicated for you. So in $410, let's just round up to 410. So in 10 years, within 10 years, how much will I have paid in 10 years on my policy?
10 years, you would have paid in the cash value.
No, the annual premium. If I'm paying $410 a year, I'll give you a hint, add a 0. How much will I have paid?
$4,100.
$4,100. Awesome. And to multiply that times 2 within 20 years. So I want everybody to write this down though. In 20 years, how much will I have paid?
$8,200.
$8,200. Look at that. So in 20 years, how old will I be based on this illustration?
On this illustration, 61.
Awesome. That's you quick. That's good. 61 years old. So 61 years old, I will, be old and decrepit. So I will have paid in $8,200. So think about this. And I have protection for my 2 kiddos for 20 years for $20,000, right? And that's the security blanket. That's the peace of mind for my kids. But with a BUT, not a BUTT. But
Right.
in 20 years, I'll be 61 years old. How much money can I cancel my policy and take some cash out and just go with it? Can I cash my policy out?
Can you cash it out?
Yeah.
You could cash it out.
How much money will I have?
In 20 years to $6,053.20.
6,053. So really, if you've got your calculators out, anybody can add in chat or yell out. If I paid in $8,200 and I cash out, let's just say 6,000, how much did I pay in?
$2,200.
$2,200. So I really paid $2,200 for this policy, or I will be paying $2,200 for this policy in 20 years for $20,000 worth of coverage. Now, let me do some quick math for you, and I'll just tell you. $410 a year divided by 12 is about $36 a month that I'm paying for this policy. About $36 or $37 for this month. When I'm 61, if I cash it out, I take my money out, and I've only paid in $2,200, I really only paid $9 a month for this policy. Now, I want to show y'all on the line, Vernita, and everybody else, that final expense is not about the living benefits. We don't want to always just go around preaching the living benefits on this policy, because we don't want our people to just go take the cash value and run, right? It's because it's more about the death benefit. It's more about the passing away and the family having the death benefit. But you know what? this is a pretty good plan to have. Just in addition to, if you have, a lot of young people have term policies or they have universal life policies or whatever, because they need the bigger face amount. That's okay. But I would strongly suggest that the core base benefit, the core base, and anybody that's been in the business for a while, Doug, if you could mimic or duplicate or, this would be, is a good whole life policy. It's a good whole life policy that's going to be there. It's never going to leave. Pay the premium, and it's always going to stick. And you know what? If you get people out there and you get an objection of, well, do I have to pay this thing forever? If I got to pay, Vernita, if I could tell you right now, and I was the man upstairs, and I could say, hey, I'll tell you what, I'm going to come down here. If you pay $36 a month, you can live to 99. Would you do it?
$36 a month, live to 99. That's easy.
Heck yeah, you would. All of us,
Yeah.
would. All of us would definitely take that bet and do it. That's very, so with younger people, especially with people in their 30s or whatever, these are good policies to have, to keep, to protect yourself, to protect your family. Now, I could also go in there and take a loan on my policy. I could take a loan off we're not going to get into that today, $6,053. But also in 20 years, what does that 12,366 paid up benefit represent? You want to take a guess at it? Do you know?
That's what you'll always have.
And never pay a premium again. Never have to pay another premium. Never have to pay another premium. So essentially, I paid $8,200 to get a $12,366 policy. And we are paying 4.5% interest rate on our whole life policies. If you go anywhere else and you look at interest rate on a whole life policy, I will bet you a lot of money it's less than this for any other company. So anyway, I wanted to show you that. I think it's very important to show you an illustration of what our policy looks like, because we're very strong and the policies are very, very strong for us. Okay. So that's very important. Okay. I'm going to keep you another about 15 minutes. I'm going to kind of breeze through all of this just to kind of get a tip of the tongue, a tip of the iceberg for all of us. I'm brand new. Rate calculator is right here. I strongly suggest you save this to your phone also. Save this to your phone also. Go in here. That way, any point in time you want to pull this up, you're out in the field, you're out at the mall or wherever, you want to rate somebody, you can. Okay. We have our simple security plan right here, which is our core product. When you click into here, into SSP preferred, you can go in here and click your state. It doesn't matter what state you're in, and just go in here and fill this out. Play around with it. You get good at it. Okay. Female, we have tobacco. We have non-tobacco rates in each classification. We have a child rider and an accidental death rider. Okay. I can't write on my screen with this computer. Makes me upset. But anyways, child rider, if you're writing this down, if you're taking notes, our child rider, you can write anybody up to age 18, and then they will stay on the policy until they're age 25. And you can write them for anywhere up to $10,000, okay? Up to $10,000. Accidental death rider, okay? I can duplicate the face amount up to the face amount and write accidental death on someone. So if they've got 15,000 up here, and some of y'all, I would suggest you do this on every policy, because there's other companies out there that are promoting it also. But if you tell your client, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I can write you for a policy for $15,000, but if you were to pass away in an accident, we've got you covered for $30,000. We've got you covered for $30,000, and that, a lot of people like that feeling, especially if they're, their 40s or 50s, because if they were to pass away, it'd be in an accident anyways. So they like this option. So you can add an accidental death benefit rider on here. So for Mrs. Jones, $15,000, we're looking at $65 a month. Okay. EFT. Our forms of payment look like this. You can do EFT, a strongly advised EFT, that's bank draft. You don't have to have a copy of their check. You just need their routing number and account number. Always, always, always try to get EFT on bank draft because that's the easiest, that's the best, it's the cheapest, it stays on the books the longest, okay? Bank draft, bank draft, bank draft. Credit card, right there, we do take the credit card. We do also take all forms of, as far as the Direct Express card, we take that too, okay? That is your government issued Social Security card to where they deposit money on it. And then we would take direct, which is cash. So if you have someone just wants to pay cash only, you can take it cash, go get a money order or cashier's check and send that policy in. EFT is where you get paid your 9-month advance. So if you're looking for a commission advance, you need to do EFT because that will pay you 9-month advance commission on EFT. What if Ms. Jones says, no, that's too much money? Too much money. I can't afford it. You know what? I'm going to hit this bottom button back here, his back calculator. I'm going to say, Ms. Jones, I do understand this, and I want to make sure that we fit your budget. So I'm going to click this thing right over here to premium. You tell me how much you can afford. She says maybe $50. Right? That will fit my budget. I'm going to go here and calculate. Ms. Jones can have approximately, now don't use this number because it won't be right. Just use this as an indicator. Ms. Jones can afford approximately $11,250 worth of coverage. Come hit back to calculator, put that $11,250 worth of coverage in there. Ms. Jones, congratulations, you qualify for $11,250 worth of coverage, which is still a good funeral, still good money left over, still a good policy, and we're looking at $50.19. Let's go ahead and wrap this up, and I will get out of your hair. So I just want to show you how we can solve for premium or we can solve for face amount. Either one you want, we can do it, okay? Face amount or premium, no matter what. Okay, where did I go? Here, okay, come back over here. So a couple of things here, and then we'll go, and I don't want to keep it too long. I see a couple of people drop off there. Well, play around right here in my tools. Play around in the tools. 4 policies that are available to you. The Simple Security Plan, the Security Care Plan. We're not going to dig into that too much today, but I will do it on a one-on-one basis. That's basically our older, policy that we had before Simple Security Plan. We had the Security Care Plan here. Okay, so that goes 0 to 40 right now. Then we have our MIB plan, which is really qualifies people for kind of like a guaranteed issue plan. It's a growing plan. It grows month in and month out on the MIB plan, monthly increasing benefit. Okay, so take a look at that. We don't use the iCare down here much. It is basically an iCare plan. Just know this, and then you and I can do a one-on-one. Anybody? It's for people that are 25 to 55. They want a little bit more coverage there, a little bit more coverage. No, Vernita, she's below 40. So maybe she wants $25,000 for herself or her husband. Then we can write the iCare plan. That actually only goes up to $35,000. So just you got to take the $500,000 out. I haven't changed it yet. Just know that. A couple other things here to be aware of. Rate book and underwriting. You can go in here and take a look at it and dig through it a little bit, but mainly a couple of highlights here. If you look at our Simple Security Plan right here, you'll see that the preferred and the standard are the day one coverages, okay? Preferred and standard are day one coverages. And then our modified plan, you can see the ages and the age bands in there. So go there and play around, look at it. But our modified coverage, that's going to be for our people that we write in Section 3 that maybe have COPD, chronic heart failure, any of those issues there. But preferred and standard or day one coverages, those are the ones that we write the most of, and we can dig into that, with you on another basis, preferred, standard, and modified. All right, so go in there and take a look at that. Height and weight chart. Height and weight chart is over here also. Just be aware that if you're writing, a plan in our Simple Security Plan, they need to fit in these guidelines. Take a look at those height and weight charts. But here's the thing, if someone's 5'9", they can weigh up to 270 and get our preferred day one coverage and standard. They can weigh up to 287 and get our modified plan. If they're 5'9", they can actually weigh, also get the security care plan. They can also weigh up to 362 pounds and get a $10,000 limited plan. If they're over 362, we can still write them in what we call our MIB, our monthly increasing benefit plan. So we can still write them in our MIB plan. Okay, so, and they can get that coverage on that. So MIB plan. So watch the height and weight chart right there. Medications, 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 medications. I need you to go in here and play around and look at medications, because this is kind of your Bible. This is your Bible. This will tell you this. Hey, if somebody's on Acupril, which is high blood pressure medicine, we will actually allow a person to take up to 5 blood pressure medicines and still get preferred. 5 blood pressure medicines and still get preferred. Once they go to their 6th, they're going to get modified. Okay. Any elements in here you can see, we don't write Hodgkin's lymphoma, that's cancer. Asthma's preferred, COPD modified, cholesterol, any cholesterol medicine, Advocor is all preferred. Cancer, here's a pen and paper, note. If you currently have cancer, it's a decline, okay? Currently have cancer, it's a decline. Cancer-free for 90 days or 91 days is modified. Cancer-free for 2 years is our day 1 preferred, okay? So you get some breast cancers or prostate cancers and some things in there. If you've had a stroke, it's modified. So just go through here. I'm not going to go through all of them today, and look at some of these things that we write. Here's a little cheat sheet. This is pretty cool. Who can we write? Look how many people we can write here. Look at the elements that we will write. Okay, who can we cover? Who can we cover? You look at that: stents, surgeries, lung disease, kidney. As with farmers, most of these things would be declined. All right, so I'm very happy to say we will write most anything with a good, solid whole life policy, which brings me joy, which means it opens my opportunity to talk to people. Talk to people. Ask for referrals. We put this easy, simple little elementary sheet together just to give to your clients after you talk to them. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, how did I do? Mr. and Mrs. Jones, are you happy with what I provided for you? Mr. and Mrs. Jones, did I answer all your questions? And Mr. and Mrs. Jones, would you recommend me to friends and relatives? And if you would, write them down. I need about 30 names. As I'm wrapping up today, and I got 30 names you can write down, and I won't bug them. I just want to tell them I'm here for them. If they need anything, I'd love to visit with them. Use a referral. Use referrals. Listen, they gave you their social security number. They gave you your debit card. They gave you all their information. They're not worried about giving you people's names. I promise you they will do that, okay? And an illustration. A couple other things. If you're brand new, you want some help on appointment setting and objections, jump in here. If you're in these states, you can download. It's pretty quick. I'm going to jump over here and show you on the agent portal. Again, underneath your order supplies button, you can order your applications. Go in here and order you a box of applications, your simple security plan, your security care plan. Go in your brochures right here. You'll need, write this down. You need your final expense brochure. This is your one final expense brochure. And get your shirt, get your lanyard, get ready to go, and let's get out there and protect people. But overall, your SNL landing page here, you've got your 3 things here. You've got your commission statements. You've got your policy status. Okay, so all of it's there. And I won't go too into detail of all this because we've about run out of time. I don't want to keep you forever. I could go on for about 3 more hours, but we'll be falling asleep. Okay, so I just wanted to give you kind of again, order your leads today. We are really focusing right now on career agents a lot. Career agents are people that we consider our pretty full-time agents, and Paul's on the line here. He's going to be going through this program too. And I really, here's the thing, I'm going to leave you with this. Most agents are not successful in this business because of this, because they don't give it a chance. And what I mean by that, or they don't exhaust the lead. If I'm trying to get a hold of Paul or Vanita and all I want to do is try to call them, they may never answer my call. If all I want to do is text them, they may never answer my text. If all I want to do is go by and knock on their door, they may never come to the door because they don't like seeing you face to face. If all I want to do is email people, my email may get lost in the junk folder. It may get lost in spam or wherever. It may never get to them. So I have to know this. I really don't know how to communicate the best with any of you on the line, but I know what I can do. I can try all forms and fashions of it. I can email. I know, our email rates, our open email rates are only about 25%, 20% at the best. 1 out of 4 people or 5 people open our emails. And, that's pretty sad, but it is true. I can probably still call 10 agents right now and only get 5 on the line, 4. I can text 20 agents right now and maybe get 3 responses. But it doesn't matter. I'm going to use all forms of communication to try to get a hold of someone. And that's what we have to be good at. And as we dig forward in this, and you talk about leads, you need to get ready to call people. You need to 100% opportunity to get in that door and visit the people. Whether it's going out in first person and knocking on the door before you call, whether it's texting first, whatever you feel comfortable doing, just know this: to give yourself the best opportunity at this business, you need to do all of them. Ordering leads, everybody on the line here is going to get 10% lead credit for everything they write. If you're brand new, write your first policy like Paul was talking about. In 14 days, you get $250 worth of lead credit. Without going into detail, that money is going to be there for you, to purchase leads, because we pay for half of the cost of your leads. We help you pay for leads. If you're on the career program, we pay for half the cost of the leads with your lead credit, and then we finance the other half. You don't even have to come out of pocket any money if you're on the career program. Okay. And there's if you're interested in that and you're not on right now, we'll talk about that later on one-off. But we have mail out leads. We're constantly trying to sharpen our tool as far as leads in our lead program. But we pay for half the cost of your leads. That's why it's so important to write with us, because we're helping you with lead credit. Write that number down, 855-765-4765. That's our home office. That is where you're going to call and do business. You call me first, and then we'll talk about it, and I'll try to help you out. And then there's my personal cell phone, my personal email address. You'll probably see it time and time again. Maybe you might get tired of it, but that's all right. Okay. So there's my information. So I have talked for an hour and a half. That's about all probably that people want to hear me on. And so join my Facebook page too. Join me on Facebook. Find me on Facebook right there. And it's Keelan Johnson. I've got a personal one. I've got a business one. So find me on Facebook. That's where I post information. I post important information. I've got a discussion group in there called Final Expense in the South. And I've got a discussion group in there for that. So join me on Facebook. That way you can get all the updates. So anyways, I'm going to leave you with that. I have to go back and tell you that, here's the summary. Are you going to be on the front pew or are you going to be on the back pew? When those 3,400, 4,400 people pass away, are you going to be proud you wrote them a policy and protected that family? Or are you going to go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I missed out on that one. I can't believe it. You're licensed. You're a family protector. It's important. You were put in this position for a reason. And I want to thank you personally for every family that you protect. It's not about how many we can write. It's about it's about just writing them. It's about writing policy and protecting families and making money. So thank you for joining me on this short notice for Wednesday. I will be doing another webinar tomorrow at 11 o'clock. It'll be a little bit different. So join me there. Call me, text me, bother me, whatever you want to do. So let's go write some policies, go protect some people, and don't ever be afraid to ask. So I care for every one of you. And as I always say in Texas, adios.